Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Hey, good evening, guys. How you doing? Welcome. It's been a while since I do one of these lives with Medical Coding Buddies. It's been a long while, and for those who have been with us for a while, you remember when I used to be able to do them, and we used to do these usually on a Saturday, and but work, life, COVID-19, all those things pretty much caught up with us, and so we kind of put everything on a pause. So because we pretty much had to, you know, take care of our families and do what we have to do as a community, to do what we have to do as head of our households, as families, and that kind of thing, to kind of, be where we are today. But anyways, we're here. I told you we basically going to have an open conversation. And so the toll-free number is there. You can call in with your questions, or you can choose to post your questions in the chat. This is an open conversation tonight. I'm going to go run down a couple of things while I wait for comments or questions or calls of that nature that may come in. So I'll look for your comments and I'll pop them up on the screen as soon as I see them, and we can have a conversation. But here it is. Last year, we had plans as a Medical Coding Buddies team, to have conventions throughout the country. The first one we had planned was actually going to be in Orlando. And then what happened was COVID-19 happened. And so that was put on the brakes for me as one that was planning the convention. I had to put the brakes on it, and so here we are. There's no way we could have met, and there's no way we could have gone through with those plans. But for those who remember last year, about the last time that I pretty much probably did a live video, we pretty much said that we were going to have a meetup with all the Medical Coding Buddies in Orlando at some point in time this year. And we were looking at possibly October as a date to have that happen, but COVID-19 happened, and here we are. So it is what it is. So we pretty much at a standstill until this thing gets resolved. So yeah, so that's where we at, and it's been an ongoing struggle for many in the community who has been having to deal with COVID-19, both in the workplace. I've seen people, or I've heard of people getting furloughed, getting laid off due to COVID-19. It's a hot button issue. It's something that that everybody's struggling with. I've seen a couple of posts within the group today. I think about 2 posts that I see that really touch me. So there is, there's things that's happening, and it's an ever-changing environment based on where you're at, based on the census of your hospital, how many patients are coming in. That's what I mean by that. And so if you're at a hospital and you have a low census, it is possible that you're not getting the type of workload that you need in order to keep your day going, and for the hospital to see that there's a need to keep you retained as an employee while this is happening. So those things do happen. So yeah, the toll-free number is there, the comments feed is there, and I can monitor them both. And so if you like to call in and have a conversation about what's going on in your neck of the world, feel free to do so. I do have currently running a CPT study group, and that meets on Monday nights at 7 p.m. That's when we meet. And so therefore, right now, I do have a couple of spots open. So if you want to be a part of that, you can drop me an email at medical coding with Kevin. Yeah, coding with Kevin at gmail.com, I believe is the email. I think I'm lying to you. I'll post it in the email. I'll post it in the comments thread when I get done. The correct email address you can email me at. And then if you want to be a part of that session, but I do have a couple of spots available for anyone that wants to be a part of that. So right now we're at the integumentary system. We are working through the motions with that. The classes are generally about 2 hours long. You get hands-on experience with a 3M encoder if you join that class. At times when we do have time, sometimes the classes are relatively large. Right now we have about 80 people that's registered. On an average, we have about 36 to 50 people that shows up to the class. Let's see. I think I have a question. Let me pop it up here on the screen. Let me see if I can read it without my glasses. Hey, Kevin, do you have recommendation for good resources for learning surgery coding? Yes. Well, the class that we're going through right now, the CPT class, is going to take you through that because we're going to be doing integumentary. We're going to be doing all the different body systems, and that's going to be, roughly, that's surgery coding. Unless you're looking at also PCS coding. We'll be doing PCS coding later on in the fall, time permitting, and God, if everything holds up with me, health-wise and everything else, and I'm alive, we're going to be doing PCS coding in the fall. So if you want to be a part of that class, watch out for when I post the registration for that. So that's going to be in the fall. We're going to be doing that. Right now, we're focusing on CPT. And so, yes, I'm not sure what your name is, but you can come into the class, and pretty much that's what we're doing. We go through all the body systems. We're doing the CPT book. But if you want to do PCS and that's what you're questioning, that's in the fall. All right. So hopefully I answer your question. Let me see if this is another question. It says, hey, Kevin, thanks for what you're doing. Okay, no problem. Thank you. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, so that is that. So the number is there. You can call in or you can make your comments known, and I will answer them. And let's see what else, what I cover. So training classes are ongoing. Tomorrow I have a 3M encoder training class. I have 5 spots available. Next week, Saturday, I'm doing another 3M encoder class. Is it next week or the 25th? Is that next week? Is the 25th, I believe. Yeah. So that will be another class, and that will be 30 spots available for that, because that session is going to run roughly about 3 hours. So with that session, that's going to be huge. Once you get the hands-on training, you can then move off the platform, go back to your family, have happy Saturday and all that good stuff, and you don't have to stick around for the full 3 hours if you don't want to. But what I'm trying to do is, if a lot of people do register, I'm allotting time for everybody to be able to get the hands-on training that they need. Scenarios will be emailed to you, and once you get those scenarios, what you will do is you'll go over them prior to coming on the platform. Make sure that you are logging in from a desktop or a laptop. Okay, I think I see another question. I'm going to pop that up on the screen. Let's see what this says. The PCS class sounds good. I mean, your CPT class now, any particular books you would recommend for surgery coding practice? Okay, there is a step-by-step book that I suggest that I'm not sure if you came late or not. I suggest you can get that book. That will help you a great deal. It has solid case scenarios in there. I think he also has a companion book, a workbook that if you want to, you can get that on your own. And you can utilize that to practice as well. So those are some options out there as far as books that I would recommend right now that works. Back in the days when I used to teach coding, it was my go-to book. I utilized that book a lot when I was teaching medical coding back in the days. All right, so hopefully I answered that question. Again, telephone number is there if you'd like to call in, or you can post your comments. This is an open chat. You can ask anything you want to ask right now, as long as it's not coding, because I have to pull up the books and the encoder and all that good stuff. So what else do we have going on? All right. Um, so we'll try to get this going for half an hour if I don't see a lot of questions. And because I know this is the first time I've done it in a long, long time. And like I said, for those who are new to the platform, I used to do these like on a Saturday, or off day when I have during the week when I don't have a lot of things going on. That's when I used to be able to do them. So right now, I do have some downtime, and I figure, hey, let's get this thing back going again. It's been a while since we have done one. Let's go ahead and start this up again so others can know what we actually do here. This is how we pretty much got the volume pumped up on Medical Coding Buddies. When we started back in 2018, I did a lot of these lives, a lot. If you go back and look in the video sections, you will see videos there. And I used to do some more tutorials via WebEx and that kind of thing too as well. So yeah, and so I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, of doing them. You can also follow me, folks. If you're trying to follow me, I have a YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is youtube.com/coding with Kevin. Coding with Kevin, and that's my YouTube channel. So my goal is to start pumping out some videos on that channel over time. That way it's tutorial videos, 15-minute videos talking about any topic. Let me see this, I believe, question that's coming in. Could you do CPT class twice a week? Unfortunately, not. My time right now is I can't do it. There's some stuff that I have going on the side that I'm committed to. I'm working from home, but the stuff that I have on the side has to do with the city that I live with. I started a particular organization in order to help out the city, and so I've been working on that during my off time and trying to balance that. So no, I can't take on another class during the week. I used to be able to do it. I did the ICD-10 class 2 times a week. I used to do them Mondays and Thursdays, but then my wife was like, that's too much. So I had to cut back to once a week. Yeah, so more than likely, if I do go back to it, it would be on a Saturday. It would be probably Monday night and a Saturday, probably for about an hour on a Saturday, early Saturday morning or something like that, if I was to do that. So that is an option that I would probably pursue, because if it's 1 hour on a Saturday, I don't think there will be any issues with that. But the thing about it is you guys, because a lot of you, the complaints I had when I tried that approach before was that Saturday mornings are no good. Saturday mornings are family time and all that good stuff. So it's one of those situations. All right. Any more questions? Okay. All right. So that's it for that. So reminder that I have the 3M classes. I have one tomorrow. I have 5 spots available. You can look for the link for that and register for it. Look for the one that the event for 7/18 and register for that. If you cannot meet that one, there's another one next week. That one is going to go from 11 a.m. to 3, I believe I said 3 p.m. Eastern, and I don't know why I did that, but basically I gave you a wide time span because I know everybody's on a different time zone. So I wanted to make sure I cover all the time zones. Central, people out in California that are emailing me that they want to participate too, but I'm always offline by the time they wake up. So I'm trying to cover them, because by 3 o'clock, it will be probably 9, 10 o'clock their time. So I figure that is a way to cover their time slot as well. And the folks in Texas that are emailing me, they will be able to fall in any one of those time slots. That's a wide bridge, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. I figure I cover a lot of folks. So That's a 3M class, and I just don't do 3M in there, folks, because when I do those classes, I talk about other things too. So if you bring up another subject matter and you want to explore that, and everybody's okay with it, we go down that rabbit hole and we talk about it. So it's not just 3M class that happens. Okay. Any other questions? I know it's been a minute since I do these, so I know I understand it's a Friday evening. I understand I may not get a lot of audience right now, but at least folks will be able to go back and play this back and look at it later on whenever they have downtime. But yeah, it's been a while since I did this. It's very long while. For those who remember when I used to do it, yeah, it was a lot. Back since 2018, I pretty much pumped out over 100 videos on this platform talking about different topics throughout time. All right, what else? Any other questions? Come on, folks. I saw a lot of questions in the platform today. As far as jobs are concerned, I know a lot of folks are concerned about that. There's not a lot of jobs out there right now. I'm going to be honest. There is not a lot of jobs out there right now because of the COVID-19 situation. Most of the jobs that I've seen are calling for inpatient coders. So if inpatient coding is your thing, you can jump on company sites like Tenet Healthcare. You can jump on websites like United Healthcare. They also have their own coding arm. You can jump on ACA, Hospital Assist Corporation of America, and there's Adventist Health. There is who else can I think of? All right, and then there's another company called Conifer who does billing. For those who are in the billing realm that wants to practice revenue cycle. But not only that, but they also have their own coding department. So they do the coding as well. And Conifer is a part of Tenet. And if many of you heard me talk about this before, Conifer is a part of Tenet. And so therefore they do take on clients outside of Tenet as well. That allows them to hire coders and code for those hospitals. So check out Conifer, check out Tenet, check out ACA, all these different companies that are currently hiring. Always plug into them, because if you can't get a coding job, for example, you need to get your foot in the door. The best way to do it is through an offshoot company, a billing company. That way you can get your foot through the door. There is also ACA's version of a Conifer is a company called Parallon. I think it's spelled Parrolon or something like that. Parallon, and they also do the same thing like Conifer, and so therefore you want to check them out too as well. Because if you get your foot through the door with them, then you can migrate over to the coding department whenever a spot opens up. So always keep yourself versatile. Don't not just stick to, oh, I'm just going to do coding. And many have heard me say that before. Also think about other aspects. Think about, billing and then working your way up. Let's see what else. I'm not seeing any calls, and I'm not seeing any more comments. You guys are quite shy this evening. But let's see. And hopefully you guys are doing okay, family-wise, and everything else, and everybody is doing what they're doing. Let's see, somebody is sending me a message, but they're sending it outside of the platform. Never mind. I thought that was related to us. But any more questions? I was expecting one of our administrators, Celeste, to call in, but I'm not seeing her calling in. She's been selling some T-shirts, and I'm pretty sure you guys probably seen that. Let me see this comment. Hold on one second. It's hard getting your foot in the door without no experience. Yes, it is hard. And that's why I said possibly look at taking a job outside of the realm. Don't just look at getting a job with coding. Look at getting a job with doing billing, receptionist work, whatever the case may be. So, say you want to be in a hospital environment, then what you want to do is position yourself to be in a hospital. Get a job in that hospital that is, whether it be a receptionist, whether it be billing. Once you get your foot in the door, what happens is you become an internal applicant. So you're the first one that's going to see a job that's going to be posted for coding, right? More than likely. And once you get that, you see that post goes up, you apply because you're internal applicant. It's easier to train somebody that's already in-house than to bring somebody new from the outside of the department. So that's one aspect you have to look at. Let's see that. Okay, we'll keep trying that. Okay, great. Yeah, keep trying that. Don't give up. Don't shoot yourself in the foot. Don't just stop at, oh, I can't find a Coney job. Go outside of the realm. Look at other possibilities that can work for you. Through say the same thing in banking. Yeah, the same in banking. Okay. All right. Yeah. So it works in all different fields. You can't um, just stop and say, this is it. No problem. You're welcome. All right. Yeah, because right now my thing is me personally. You guys have seen since the last 2 months or so that I earned my master's degree, and so I was getting weary as well, like anybody else, getting worried about the field, getting worried about the COVID-19 situation, looking at all aspects of the business and seeing what was going on. And I was saying to myself, self, that maybe I need a backup plan as a provider because I'm the head of my household. So I know I need to figure out how am I going to keep food on the table, right? So I said, I got my master's. What's the next step? Well, I started looking outside of coding. I started looking outside of coding as a possibility to land a job, and that is a backup plan, something that I can probably do part time or something like that. And so I looked at I just happened to call a school because I was exploring getting a second master's, and they said, "Don't do that." And they point me in the right direction. The person, the recruiter, was actually honest with me, which really was really nice. So she said to me, "Kevin, consider getting teaching because you already have the background. Try possibly becoming an adjunct faculty member of one of the universities." And I was like, I didn't know I could do that. I thought you had to be like having a doctorate and stuff like that. But she schooled me, and then I took that advice and I started looking into being an educator, something that I can do on a part-time basis. Okay, so let's see what it says. Good for you. Going for my bachelor's. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I had to do it. I mean, it was a struggle, but I got it done. I got it done. All right. Let's see what this other comment says. I have my accounting degree switching. I was informed was not good for becoming a coder. What are your thoughts? So you currently have an accounting degree. Have you not started in the coding world yet? Have you not gone on that realm yet? I need some more backstory on that. Feel free to use the number to call me if you so choose, so we can actually have a verbal conversation, so we don't have to go back and forth in the comments. But if you're shy, I understand. Just drop your comments there. I'm trying to understand your what's going on with you right now, because I want to know if you currently you're taking any medical coding courses. That's my first train of thought, and and those kind of things. So I need to get some more background on that question. But basically, switching from one field to the other, I see is not hard. You need to be, versatile. Medical coding, when you learn medical coding, it's like learning a new language. The terminology, the whole thing, it's like learning Spanish and all of that good stuff. All right, let's see. Yes, this is Jenny. Okay, hi, Jenny. Um, um, so you're saying, let me go back to your question. I have my accounting degree. Switching, I was informed, was not good for becoming a coder. What is your thoughts? I don't think that's the problem. I mean, if you pick up the field, if you can do accounting, you can do coding. If you can be a mechanic, you can do coding. It's not that difficult to pick up. It's like just like learning another language, but at the same time, um, don't let it disturb you. What other folks say. I mean, if you put your all into it, you pick up your studies, you do your book, you know your stuff, you're good. What is the calling number? Okay, that's the calling number right there. 1-888-222-8960. So yeah, so switching to coding is not a bad thing. I mean, it's something that anybody can do. You just have to be ready to put your all into it and don't give up. I mean, if that's what you want to do, don't give up and don't give in. All right. So I'll look for that call if that person is calling in. But you know, any other questions? Okay, here they go.
One to accept this call, or two to reject it. Connecting. What?
Hello.
Kevin?
Yes.
Hi, this is Jim. How are you?
Good, good. Make sure you turn off the computer because we're gonna get feedback.
Okay, I'll press mute. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, and hopefully the audience can hear you. Go ahead.
Yes. I started off in the accounting field. That's where I have my degree in accounting, and that was back in like 2008 when the economy ended up, going through down spiral, and that's when I looked into the opportunity to go into the medical billing and coding because I was informed that a lot of coding companies prefer people to have a degree that will be either in the healthcare or business and finance. So that's why I tied in the accounting to that. But I get offers all the time for accounting, but I was informed by many people in the medical field and recruiters as well that it's not good to switch back and forth. If you want to stay in medical and have a career, you need to stay in medical and not switch. That's why I said, what is your thoughts
on that? Yeah. Okay. Wow. Well, my thoughts are mixed. Here's the thing. I'm not gonna straight up give you a straight up answer. You having an accounting degree is gonna be a plus. Now, my advice to you. Have you ever thought about the financial aspect of the business, the revenue cycle?
I have did some of the revenue cycle as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because with your accounting degree, and knowing coding, you can advance quickly in the revenue cycle side of the world. There's a lot of jobs out there for where that is concerned. You will need to look up for me healthcare financing. Forget the acronym. I think the acronym is HFMA. I think that's what the acronym is. They have certifications with the revenue cycle side of business, And once you check out that organization, that's an organization not a lot of folks know about. And mind you, it's not like APC and CPC and CCS, what you'll hear about every day when it comes to coding. But that organization will be able to help you to kind of, you check it out. Go to the website, and everybody else that's listening, if you're interested in the revenue cycle realm of business, I advise you to check that out, because that website has a tons of information there as it relates to that. Most revenue cycle companies will tell you that that's the certification of choice if you're coming to them to work for them. But not a lot of them will. Go ahead.
What website again?
I don't remember the exact website, but I believe the acronym is HFMA.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's what the acronym is, and if it's not correct, I will look it up when we get done with the live and post it on the link. But I believe it's HFMA, and so yeah, check that out, because that's one avenue you can probably pursue. But don't get destroyed by people telling you that you can't do it or whatever the case may be. You can do anything you put your mind to. You just gotta put your mind to it and just go for it. So the and so again, with your background, if you want to get a year into coding, get some coding underneath your belt, then switch back to that. That's fine. Individuals that work in the financial realm end up becoming CFOs at hospitals. They're becoming department heads in the revenue cycle section of the CFO department and that kind of thing in the hospital system. I've seen it happen all the time. I used to work with a lady in Delray Hospital, and she had an accounting degree, if I remember it correctly. And she also had that certification from HFMA. And so because of that, she was able to move up quickly in that realm. She was working at one point in time, she was working right underneath the CFO. So it's how you position yourself and where you want to be. So you have to pencil it out. Where do I want to be? I mean, you can end up working more than a coder, making more money than a coder, Jenny, if you really put your mind to it, because people in that department, they don't make chump change. They make big change, if you know what I mean. So the coders look up to them. Not you looking up to us. It's the other way around. So it's totally up to you. But having that accounting degree is going to help you a lot. I don't see it as a negative. I see it as a positive. It's how you move that needle stick. Is how you move that needle stick. It's totally up to you. You're in total control of how to grow that. But again, having that knowledge now will help you get to that goal stick. But and this is where I came in, because a lot of folks don't know these things. HFMA, they don't go out and pronounce themselves to the world like APC does and CC and AHIMA does. They're just there. The only time that you hear from them mostly is when you're applying for a job and you see these initials and you go, what the heck is that? What is that about? That's when you find out later. I mean, I was working for Conifer prior to them becoming, was RBO, and the director for the facility, he had background in coding, but he also had that title next to his name from HFMA. And with those information, he was the head of the entire billing center, making book of bucks, right? And so he was able to do what he does. And so it's one of those things. So it is how you move that needle stick, where you want to go. So yeah, thanks for that question. I mean, we can talk more on Monday night too, if you want to, on that topic when we meet again for the CPC class. No problem. Thanks for calling in. All right, folks. That was a good question. All right. Any other questions? Any other questions where that is concerned? Yeah. So I was talking about. I think I talked about Celeste and her. She's selling some T-shirts, and I think the links were posted inside the chat in the group. So you need to look for that if in case you're interested in buying some coding T-shirts. That's a project she's working on. And for reminder for those who may just be joining me, we have the 3M Encoder class that's going on. I have one tomorrow. There's 5 spots available. I have one next week. There's 30 spots available, and I think one person just bought a ticket today for that one. Um, there is, yeah, so there's that, and then I'm planning to keep the 3M classes going for a while, and usually they're going to be on a Saturday. So if there's a situation where one week you can catch it, you can catch it the following week. So these are going to be going on for a while. Um, to help you out, and all I'm asking for is $10. And the reason for the $10, they used to be free. I used to be able to do this for free, but one day, let's just say that some folks send me a bunch of text messages and wanted to have the class, and got the class ready, got it going, and then none of the folks who asked for it showed up. So that was quite interesting for me. So I wasn't quite happy with that. So in order to ensure that that doesn't happen again, I make sure I ask for a small donation, because you're reserving my time away from my family. So I want to make sure that my situation doesn't become like that again, where I show up and then none of the folks who I initially asked for it showed up. I mean, there was people there, but it was just not the people that initially asked for it. So that was quite interesting. So that's why we do what we do. Okay. And again, if you're part of the C the C the CPT class that we have ongoing, then you will get hands-on training on it from time to time as time allots. I will just pick somebody randomly to do a coded scenario while we're going through the different exercises, etc. So that's how I set that class up. And again, we usually meet for like 2 hours on a Monday night. This Monday night coming, I have something going on. So word of advice to any of my CPT class that's coming on Monday night. I'm only going to be able to do 1 hour on Monday night. And probably I will be able to do 1 hour at some other time during the week. Okay, let me see what this is. Have you started a COC class? Shh, you're not supposed to say that out loud. Remember, we talked about that. But we're doing something like that. Yeah, something like that. All right. Let's see. Any other classes? Any other questions? Any other questions? All right. With that said, I don't see much questions else coming in. I mean, this, again, guys, I used to do this a lot, and I'm going to try to pick up the pace on these and start doing more of them, so you guys can become familiar with what I do. When we just started this whole platform, I was doing hundreds of days a week. I mean, just like coming on, popping on, doing random. I used to do coding, lunch with a coder and those kind of things, and randomly coming on in the middle of the day and talking about coding clinics and CPT assistance and those kind of things. So my goal is to pick up the pace on these and start doing them gradually over time. And so you guys can become used to it again and know exactly what I do. Let's see what this says. I think somebody just added a comment here. What schools do you recommend for coding? All right. If you're just doing straight up coding, no, and you're not looking for college, me personally, that's just me personally. I've never been to this school. I have no contact with this school. But if there's a school that I would tell anybody to go to, it would be Andrews. Right now, Andrews, they're killing it. Andrews School is killing it. Their students, when they graduate, I've seen it. The numbers don't lie. I've seen it. They end up with your CCS and they end up with your CPC. Um, so that's one school right now. I would tell anybody, and I tell no lie, if you're gonna do it, and if you have not touched your book yet for coding, that's where you go. Because once you're done with the program, you more than likely, if having two credentials is your goal, you will have two credentials underneath your belt when you're done with that school. If you put your all into it, so that's where I would tell you to go. Now, if you're looking to be having a degree in the field, uh, there's many schools out there that have RHIT or the RHIA program, and that's through accredited through CAHIM, which is a part of AHIMA. And so therefore you would go to the CAHIM website, that's CAHIIM, I believe it is, .org, and look up for CAHIM on Google. Go to that website, look for the accredited schools, and then do your search. Based on the accredited schools that have for RHIT and RHIA, you'll be able to do your search, narrow the playing field as to cost, location, whatever it is that is particular to you, as far as what cost is your problem, and you want to make sure that's financially affordable. Look at cost, but they have all the colleges there. That's how you're going to know if a school is accredited for the RHIT or the RHIA program. So that's where you start. Don't listen to the recruiters when they call you and they try to sell you a bag of goods and say that this school is accredited. If you need to know if they're accredited, the first place you're going to do is go to CAHIM's website to ascertain if their program is accredited for the RHIT or the RHIA, nothing else. If it comes to the CCS or CPC, like my personal choice is Andrews. Now, not saying that the other schools don't do good. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if you're looking to have both credentials at the end of the day from two different organizations, that's where I would go. If you're just looking at focusing on the CPC as a certification, you can pick from the many different schools that's on the platform. I know there's some teachers in the group. I don't know them personally, that probably teach individual courses for the CPC. I know there's talks between me and the moderators of the group. We're looking at starting up something. It has not been put together yet, but we're looking at doing something in the near future. As far as education is concerned, for the CCS, and hopefully it's for the CPC. So that is in the works. All the pieces of the puzzle has not been finalized. So, and I'm not even sure when that will be finalized. But there's talks about doing something along that realm. And now that I have my master's, hopefully, one of my goals was always start a school. But again, all of these things takes money, and I'm at ground zero right now. So it is what it is. But right now, my recommendation is Andrews. And for those who are pursuing a degree, I encourage you, please go to the CAHIM website and do your homework first before selecting a school. All right? You can specialize in RHIT, RHIA, or you can just say, I want to practice in informatics. My degree, I did a master's of degree in healthcare administration, but specialized in informatics. That's what I did. So you can choose something along those realms as well, because I see a lot of different platforms where they're looking for folks who have informatics background and who have coding background and all that stuff. So you can have that and work in coding and revenue cycle, the whole nine. Let's see. I don't see any other questions. Is there any other questions, guys? You guys are watching, but you know, questions are coming in hardly. All right. Yeah, but you have my information. If there's individuals that want to talk about other things, feel free to message me. Those discussions will happen at some point. But right now, I'm going to be signing off, and we will talk. For those who are joining me tomorrow, we will talk tomorrow. Right now, there's only 7 folks registered. So based on that, I can tell you that that class won't be long. It probably will go for about an hour tops. And that's it, because only 7 folks are registered, unless some folks register overnight. But I will email you the coding scenarios in the morning. That's what I'm going to be doing. I'll email you the coding scenarios that we'll be working on, and individuals sign up for the class next week. I'll email you the coding scenarios next week, and we will take it from there. But that's my game plan. So I will see what type of reception I get from next week's class to ascertain whether or not I need to keep this going. And if I get a good reception and a lot of people is interested, then I know that I need to keep it going for a while. But right now, the long-term plan is to keep it going, the 3M classes. But if I don't get a lot of sign-ups for next week, that's going to be my gauge to say maybe I need to just stick to that last one and just take a while and do another one in several more weeks or something like that. But let's see what the interest is. But again, the time span for that is between 11 a.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Eastern. So it gives you enough time to balance the scale, because if you're waking up in California at 12, you can join me. So you don't have to log in exactly at 11 o'clock. You can log in whenever you wake up. But I just need to know that you're coming and what time span you're in when you email me, and then I will be able to know that I'm allocating time for that time period. Any questions? All right. With that said, have yourself a blessed weekend. We will talk soon, okay? Again, watch out for more of these lives. I'm going to be doing them as time allots, okay? All right? So we talk soon. Bye-bye.